two.
Okay, we are live.
All right. These are my 6 people audience. Now I shall start my presentation here momentarily.
Whoa, I'm just,
Hi. Have you ever heard of roller derby? Have you ever wondered what it was? I'm Drew Troshak, and I'm also best known as Bruce Willis, the head ref of the Lansing Mitten Mavens. And I'm here to tell you about women's flat track roller derby, some of the rules, and how it works. So, first off, the game is set up on an oval track. It's flat, not like you used to see on television. That's for the rich people in California and Texas. But here, we play on a flat track, which makes it nice and easy for us to skate anywhere. So, the track here is flat and it's oval. We also have 2 lines. The jammer line is here, and the pivot line. So when the game starts, we're going to have 4 blockers on each team, and they all start between the pivot line and the jammer line. There's also 1 person from each team called the jammer, and the jammer holds the star on their helmet, and that signifies that they are the person who can score the points. And they both line up right behind the jammer line right here. When the whistle blows, it's going to signify the start of a jam. And the jam is kind of like a play in football, where they have 2 minutes or less to score as many points as possible. So, I'll explain about that a little bit more in detail in a second. But when the first whistle blows, the blockers are going to move out and hold a position. And the jammer's job is to jam their way through the pack. The first jammer who gets through all of the blockers legally is then declared lead jammer. And they have the control to call off the jam by tapping their hips twice, at least twice, in order to signify, I would like to now end the jam. So, the first person that's out is now signified the lead jammer. Now, after the first pass, they'll go all the way back around and catch back up to the pack, which is the number, all of the blockers together. They must stay together in what's called the pack. When they come back to the pack, however many opposing blockers they pass, that's how many points they get. Also, if the other jammer is still stuck inside the pack and they lap them, that's an additional point for 5 points. When they would like to end the jam, again, they tap their hips, and there's 4 whistles to signify the end of the jam. If no one taps their hips, it goes for the full 2 minutes. After that, then you have 30 seconds at the end of the jam, in which everyone comes off the track and they put up a brand new line to line up for the next game. And then, when the 30 seconds is over, they blow the whistle again and the whole thing starts. The major point of why it's good to become lead jammer is that you can call it off before the other jammer can score more points. This allows you to build a lead. Again, also there's the pack definition. So as I said, the 4 blockers must all stay together within a pack. If they move too far away, then that's called a no pack scenario, and this is the hand signal. So if there's a no pack, people must immediately rejoin. And if there's 10 feet between both teams, if there's not a single person on either side, if both teams are on 10 feet apart, and that means that there is no pack. So again, come back together, form a pack, and play can continue. So penalties. You're wondering what the penalties are. As I said before, if you drift too far in a no pack scenario and no one rejoins the pack, there's going to be penalties to the closest person that would be in charge of rejoining the pack. If the people in the front do not stop, then the person in the back is going to be called for failure to reform. If the person in the front does not speed up to a sprint in order to rejoin, and that is also a failure to reform. There's also a few more penalties, and that's cutting the track is a large one, which means that if a blocker blocks someone out of bounds, and that person who got blocked out of bounds comes in front of them, that is cutting the track. A lot of it is also legal blocking areas. And you can hit anywhere from the shoulders on down to the knee. But if you hit below the knee or below, that is a low block. If you hit someone with your elbow or your forearm, that is an elbow and forearm respectively. If you hit someone in the back, that's called a back block. If you hit someone in the head, that's a high block. And these are most of your basic penalties that you have throughout the game. Finally, I hope that I have helped you guys understand how roller derby works. Essentially, it's 4 blockers on each team with 1 jammer, the one with the star on their head for each team. And they skate around for 2 minutes or less with the jammer scoring the points. The first one out gets lead jammer status, and then they can continue to score points as long as they've passed the pack once. Thank you for listening. And I'm done.
Sorry, I was at the end.
That went way